Ever wondered how food relates to our daily language? Today, we're going to precisely focus on food idioms. These are delicious phrases that, although may sound a little peculiar at first, tend to have a unique meaning that's quite disparate from their literal implication. Believe it or not, idioms constitute one of the most captivating elements of any language. They serve as the perfect seasoning to our day-to-day conversations, bestowing upon them a certain zest and charm. They bring a certain richness to communication, making it more engaging and dynamic. In essence, idioms allow us to articulate complex concepts in a manner that's palatable and easy to comprehend for everyone. Now, when we narrow down our discussion to food idioms specifically, they are indeed the cream of the crop. Food idioms are relatable, they bring enjoyment to our chats, and are deeply embedded within our routine verbal exchanges, and reflect our culture and environment. From adding flavor to daily speech to resonating with universal culinary experiences, food idioms are found everywhere. Be it spill the beans or apple of my eye, these idioms are not just phrases, they are the perfect fusion of food and language, making our conversations hearty and savory. So, ready to embark on this journey of exploring the fascinating world of food idioms? Stay tuned as we unravel some of the most interesting food idioms. Ever heard the saying, bite off more than you can chew? No, it's not about overeating. This savory idiom illustrates biting into tasks so massive they're impossible to complete. It's derived from the concept of taking a bite of a meal too big to properly chew or swallow. This idiom has a rich foundation in real life, metaphorically pointing at starting on a project so expansive, completion becomes a hurdle. Imagine an inexperienced baker aspiring to craft a 5-tier wedding cake as their debut project. This ambitious task is a perfect example of biting off more than one can chew. In this analogy, they've attempted to eat a metaphorically large portion of a cake, only to find themselves struggling with finishing or swallowing it. The notion of biting off more than you can chew doesn't just apply to food, but serves as a lesson about not overestimating your abilities or underestimating the magnitude of a task. Consider the scenario where you're about to embark on a new task. It's always smart to evaluate whether it's a manageable task or an overwhelming undertaking that might just become a metaphorical choking hazard. So remember, it's crucial to understand your limitations and the task's complexity. Next time you take on a big task, remember not to bite off more than you can chew. Now, who doesn't love a piece of cake, especially when it's a piece of cake? A phrase that's not about dessert, but a metaphor expressing ease and simplicity. Picture being given a task that is as effortless as savoring a slice of your preferred cake. That's the essence this idiom. For example, you're a pro at puzzles. You might state, that 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, that was a piece of cake. It's a playful way to convey that you didn't find a task challenging at all. However, a piece of cake might not always be as delightful or appetizing as actual cake. Not all things that are a piece of cake are as delicious as they sound. Remember, not everything that's a piece of cake is as tasty as it sounds. Have you ever cried over spilled milk? No, I'm not talking about actual dairy. This isn't a reflection of your upset when your morning cereal comes to a messy conclusion. This well-known saying isn't speaking to the tangible tears you shed over such mishaps. It's an expressive way to convey regret for irreversible past events, akin to wishing you could unmix a scrambled egg or squeeze toothpaste back into its tube. It's a beautiful yet melancholic metaphor for situations that just can't be undone. Consider this scenario. You've dedicated a whole week crafting a presentation, and then, out of the blue, it was deleted mistakenly on the eve of delivery. You could spend countless hours lamenting your fate, but would that resurrect your hard work? Not at all. That's crying over spilled milk, you see. Let's put it in a practical sentence. I understand you're disappointed about forgetting your script in the school drama, but it's futile crying over spilled milk. The show continued, and you'll get numerous other chances to stand out. So, the next time you're on the verge of crying over spilled milk, remind yourself, it's simply not worth it. Now, who doesn't love bacon, but what does it mean to bring home the bacon? In the vocabulary of idioms, this phrase isn't about preparing a savory breakfast, it's about being the primary earner. Dating back to the 12th century, this idiom arose from a unique tradition in Dunmow, England. A local church proposed a challenge, presenting a side of bacon to any man who could vow, before the congregation and God, that he had not quarreled with his wife for a year and a day. The man successful in this endeavor was thus said to bring home the bacon. In contemporary times, the idiom has been adapted to mean earning a living, mostly for one's family. If a person recently got a raise or promotion, they might use this idiom like, with my recent promotion, I've been bringing home the bacon. So, the next time here, bring home the bacon, remember, it's less about breakfast and more about sustaining your family. Ever wondered why someone is as cool as a cucumber? This phrase isn't about temperature, it's not about weather or the cucumber's refreshing nature either. It's about maintaining composure, staying calm, particularly under pressure. Imagine this, you're in a high-stakes situation, maybe delivering a crucial presentation or negotiating an important deal. You're not sweating, your pulse is consistent, you're at ease. That's when you're cool as a cucumber. This idiom likely comes from cucumber's cool touch, even in sweltering heat. Here's an illustration. You're watching a gripping basketball match, and there's one player who, unfazed by the intensity, is hitting every shot and showing no signs of stress. You might say, wow, that player is as cool as a cucumber. When you find yourself under stress, strive to stay as cool as a cucumber. So, we've explored some fascinating food idioms. Let's take a quick recap. We looked at the idiom, bite off more than one can chew. It's not about overeating, it's a reminder not to take on tasks that are too big to handle. Picture ordering a huge burger, only to realize it's too much to finish. Then we analyzed a piece of cake, an idiom that's not about dessert but refers to tasks that are simple to do. Picture eating a slice of cake. Pretty straightforward, right? That's how easy the task at hand is. We also covered cry over spilled milk, a phrase that advises us not to fret over things that have already occurred and can't be altered. Consider this, if you spill milk, no amount of tears will clean it up. Next, we tackled the phrase bring home the bacon, an idiom symbolizing the act of earning a living, notably for one's family. It's not about literally carrying home bacon, but about securing the essentials for family life. We moved on to explore cool as a cucumber. It's not about temperature, it's about keeping calm and composed, particularly in stressful situations. Picture being a cucumber in hot stew, still staying cool. The idiom, spill the beans was next, which is used when a secret is revealed. Imagine you had a can of beans and accidentally tipped it over, exposing all inside. We also examined salt of the earth, an idiom signifying a good, honest person. Here, virtue is compared to salt, a humble yet essential ingredient that enhances flavor without stealing the spotlight. Next was, too many cooks spoil the broth. This phrase isn't a critique of a crowded kitchen, but a caution against having too many people involved in a task, which can cause its downfall. In a nutshell was next on our list, an idiom used to summarize things concisely. And lastly, we walked on the thin ice of walk on eggshells, an idiom about being overly cautious with what one says or does. Remember, our language is as flavorful as food, so enjoy these idioms and use them to spice up your conversations. Do you have an idiom that you like or use a lot? Please comment below and we will try to add it to a future video. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to encourage us to make more videos like this.